So don't get weary.
Yes.
Keep the faith.
Yes.
A final salute to a congressman, civil rights leader, and freedom fighter.
We were beaten, we were tear gassed. I thought I was going to down this bridge.
For nearly a lifetime, he helped lead the charge, pushing for equality for all people.
It doesn't matter whether we're black or white, Latino, Asian American, or Native American. It doesn't matter whether we're straight or gay. We're one people, we're one family. We all live in the same house.
And now, with just 1 hour until a final goodbye, we remember the life's work of John Lewis and his final call to action.
There's still work left to be done.
This is a Channel 2 Action News special report remembering John Lewis. A live look inside right now, Ebenezer Baptist Church in Northeast Atlanta on Auburn Avenue, where the celebration of the life, legacy, and service of this national hero is set to begin in the next hour. Already, though, this morning we are seeing a lot of activity happening outside and inside. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us. I'm Jovita Moore.
Hi there, Jovita. I'm Justin Farmer. Wanting to take you back inside Ebenezer Baptist Church right now. This is a big day. The list of dignitaries coming to remember the congressman is long and as impressive as it gets. The funeral expected to last about 2 hours. Some predicting it'll go more than that. There, as you see, I think that is Andy Young, and I believe to his right, that is Shirley Franklin coming into Ebenezer Baptist. Right now, wanting to get you updated on what has already, that is, Andy, happened this morning.
In the last 10 minutes, we saw the family start to arrive at Ebenezer Baptist Church. It's been a busy morning already. 8 o'clock this morning, the congressman's casket left the Georgia State Capitol, where it was overnight, where he lied in state. The hearse arrived at Ebenezer around 8:15 this morning.
As we mentioned just a moment ago, this funeral was going to last at least 2 hours.
We know former President Barack Obama will deliver the eulogy this morning. The service expected to start at 11 a.m. with a processional and call to celebration. Reverend Raphael Warnock, who presides at Ebenezer Baptist Church, will be there. There will be scripture readings, music as well, several singers on the program today. At 11:25, we're scheduled to hear from former Atlanta Mayor Bill Campbell, a friend of Congressman Lewis's. At 11:47, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi expected to take the pulpit.
And 3 former presidents are involved today. At 11:52, former President Bill Clinton will share his memories of Congressman Lewis, followed by former President George W. Bush. That'll happen about noon today. And former President Barack Obama's eulogy is set to get started about 12:15.
Right, Justin, of course, all of those times, that's what's scheduled this morning. We will all be watching to see how this goes. And there is former Atlanta Mayor Bill Campbell standing there kind of in the center of your screen as well. So folks filing into the church now, taking their seats and preparing for an 11 a.m. start to this service today, honoring the life and legacy of John Robert Lewis.
I mean, look at this, Jovita. If you're sort of flipping around this morning and thinking, what am I going to watch? I urge you to spend some time today taking this in. On your screen, I mean, you've got Andy Young in the building. You've got 3 former presidents in the building. You have Atlanta mayors in the building, past and present. It's just an astounding gathering of people who have just had immense influence in our city, state, and country.
Absolutely.
Channel 2's Fred Blankenship is co-anchoring our coverage from just outside Ebenezer Baptist this morning. And we say good morning to you, Fred.
Justin, Jovita, good morning to you. And you guys are just talking about it right here. Our eyewitnesses to history are inside Ebenezer Baptist Church, where we are right now, Ebenezer Baptist Church in Northeast Atlanta. And, you know, it's fitting. As thinking about this, it's very fitting that we're here today at Ebenezer, the church of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. years ago. And John Lewis, the boy from Troy, Alabama, wrote Dr. King a letter. And Dr. King sent him a bus ticket. And he came to Atlanta. And that point, the history started. And when you think that we're culminating here today, and to give you a scene setting right now, we have buses, the dignitaries have shown up. You know, the family members are inside as well. People are here lining the streets at Auburn and Jackson just to basically say thank you. They're wearing shirts that say good trouble, that say Black Lives Matter. They're showing me pictures and telling me stories about the times they've met the congressman and that he will certainly live on in their memory. But today is a celebration of sorts, a homegoing celebration. And, you know, overnight, it's going to be very interesting. We got a final message from Congressman Lewis, an essay that he wrote to be released on the day of his funeral. How about that? And if I can, I'd like to read some of the very touching words here. He wrote, "While my time here has now come to an end, I want you to know that in the last days and hours of my life, you inspired me. You filled me with hope about the next chapter of the great American story. Democracy is not a state. It is an act. And each generation must do its part to help build what we called the beloved community, a nation in a world, society at peace with itself. Ordinary people with extraordinary vision can redeem the soul of America by getting in what I call good trouble, necessary trouble. Voting and participating in the democratic process are key." And I said, "Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe." The words of Congressman John Lewis will be released today on the day of his funeral. Now, you mentioned something before. You mentioned about times and who is speaking here at the funeral service, Jovita and Justin. And you have 3 presidents here. They're shooting for 2 hours. What I can guarantee you right here is this celebration is going to go beyond 2 hours, because we're talking about Congressman John Lewis. And people are going to have stories, because everybody has a John Lewis story, including me. Yeah. And I'll be back in about 15 minutes to talk to you about that. But I'm talking about a man with tremendous service and tremendous love here in Atlanta at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Well, Fred, you certainly got an incredible opportunity to spend time with Congressman Lewis, walking with him across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That was for the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. We all remember that video and those incredible pictures you have of that day.
You know, it was amazing, Jovita, and I say amazing because I asked him how he felt being on that bridge that day, and he said it felt like being on sacred ground. And that's how I felt, too. I'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes, but right now we're going to continue our coverage of the homegoing celebration for Congressman John Lewis.
Fred, thank you so much. And when I learned this morning that he had written an essay for the New York Times days before his death, I mean, that just took my breath away. Nicole, Justin.
Hey, Nicole. Let's go to Nicole Carr live outside the church. Some insight, Nicole, this morning, what we can expect to hear from the man giving the eulogy, former President Barack Obama.
You know, I think this is going to be a message about the shaping of a nation, the spirit of a nation. I don't know if you can hear what I hear in the background here, but it's singing. It's folks singing, I want to be in good trouble. And it's a hymn. And it's fitting for right here in front of the church house. So we're talking about a man who will be described in this eulogy as one who gave his mind, his body, and his spirit to a nation that he believed in and that could live up to its fullest potential. I want to take you back to 2013, former President Barack Obama calling John Lewis one of his heroes. He awarded the civil rights icon the Presidential Medal of Freedom. We know that is the highest honor a president can award. And you may have heard the story by now, but when President Obama was inaugurated in 2009, Congressman Lewis handed him a paper to autograph, and the president wrote, "Because of you, John." That's the message, because of you.
Nearly 25 years in the House of Representatives, John R. Lewis has dedicated his life to shattering barriers and fighting injustice. The son of Sharon.
Okay, and we know the day Congressman Lewis died, the former president said this: "Not many of us get to live to see our own legacy play out in such a meaningful, remarkable way. John Lewis did, and thanks to him, we now all have our marching orders to keep believing in the possibility of remaking this country we love until it lives up to its full promise." This is about accountability for a nation. This is about the spirit of a nation. And one thing that President Obama also wrote in the days following Congressman Lewis's death is that the last time we got together, it was over a virtual town hall for young activists. This was in the wake of George Floyd's death. And how fitting, right? When they got a chance to speak privately, President Obama told Congressman Lewis that these young people are here because of you. They're walking in the spirit of you, even if they don't know your history, even if they don't know your story. You have paved the way for this. And I think one of the most powerful images we've ever seen comes from a Washington, D.C. photographer, Gary Williams, and we've used this in the stories and interviewed Williams, and it's about the day that Congressman Lewis showed up to Black Lives Matter Plaza, one of his last requests, final trip to D.C. before he came here to Atlanta and was in hospice. And it was to overlook that, to see that vision outplaying, coming to life as he was entering his final days. I'm going to send it back to you all from Ebenezer Baptist Church. But yes, I think what we're hearing today is the spirit of a nation embodied through Congressman Lewis.
Nicole, thank you so much for that. Of course, we will be watching here from the newsroom along with you and everyone in the church today, and watching on television. I know that this is definitely going to be a special couple of hours ahead for us. Thank you.
Moments like these shape this town, and the two of you know it well. Our special report continues right here live on Channel 2. Pictures inside of Ebenezer Baptist Church, a live look once again this morning. Monitoring the procession of those in just about 45 minutes before the funeral begins for John Lewis.
And when we come back, we're going to speak live with John Pruitt and Monica Pearson, two people who have many stories to share about the congressman. You do not want to miss what we've also dug out of our archives overnight. Stay with us.